I think the approach that we will discuss today applies to both undergraduate projects and postgraduate projects. Where do we start with a proposal? We start with a research question. And what is a research question? It's something that relates to a particular problem that you might experience. In essence, without a problem, there's no research, because the essence of research is finding solutions to problems. And the essence of business research is finding answers to business problems. At the end of, to offer recommendations to business practitioners or business managers to make decisions. So let's start. Where do we actually start then? We start with 3 areas that we need to examine. Let's start with the purpose first. When you are considering the purpose of your study, there are 3 elements that you need to consider. And these are, okay, you wish to consider 3 elements for the purpose, and that is the academic context, okay, the business or practical context, and that directly leads to your aim of the study. In the academic context, what you are doing is you are presenting what the academic area says about the problem. Let's say you were looking at issues of motivation and employee performance. You would be saying that the literature indicates that employees who are motivated are likely to perform better than employees who are not motivated. So that presents the academic context. However, you don't just leave that statement like that, otherwise it will just narrative speak without any academic evidence to support the statement. So you have to put a reference at the end of that statement. Having made that statement, having outlined the academic context, what you need to do then is now to present the business context. And this is a practice. So you might be saying, well, X, Y, and Z company has been experiencing a problem in relation to the performance of its employees. And you are wondering whether it's because of employee motivation. So there you have given the problem. And then that leads on to the aim of the study. Therefore, the aim of the study is to find out whether it is motivation, that is the low motivation, that is leading to that low performance. And that clearly covers your purpose for the study. And that's how the purpose of the study has to be framed. The next aspect that you need to consider after you have dealt with the purpose of the study, so you have addressed the purpose of your research, the next question that you need to consider is the issue of the methods. And this aspect covers 3 elements as well. When you're considering methods, you are looking at 3 elements. And these are the 3 elements. You look at data collection, you look at data analysis, you look at presentation of results. Of course, the results of the analysis. Under data collection, you want to tell us the methods that you are using to collect your data. Yeah, this could be quantitative methods or qualitative methods. You are telling us the sample that you are collecting your data from. That leads on to your sampling method as well. And as we know, there are a number of sampling approaches, but two broad categories. Yeah, these are probability and non-probability sampling. You are looking at as well another aspect that you need to look at in data collection is research ethics. In effect, how are you protecting the participants of your study? So data security and participant protection come under research ethics. That has to be addressed in that area. For our university, for Glendale University, there are a number of things that you have to do as part of addressing ethics. One of them is formulating a participant information sheet and consent form. And the next aspect is ensuring that you interact with a gatekeeper. If you are going to collect data from a company, you interact with a gatekeeper through a letter requesting access. And the last thing is to ensure that you complete the university's ethics form, which is the RESC 1 ethics form. So that addresses data collection. So you might be making a statement such as data for the study will be collected using a survey questionnaire. The questionnaire will be administered to 50 people selected at random from your X, Y, and Z. These will be employees at junior management level, if that is your target population. Prior to them, prior to the questionnaire being administered, the participants will be given information about the study, and they'll be asked to consent to the study, to give their informed consent to participate in the study. And then they'll be required to complete the questionnaire and hand it back. So, and that will sort of cover your data collection. In data analysis, you want to present exactly how you are going to analyze data. For those of you who are conducting quantitative studies, this is quite simple because all you deal with is statistical analysis of the data, and that is pretty standard. The processes are quite straightforward. However, for those of you who are collecting interpretive qualitative data, there are a range of approaches to data analysis, and you have to be quite clear how you are going to analyze the data. Of course, there are two broad categories of analysis. One of them is called thematic analysis, where you collect your qualitative data, you transcribe it, in other words, you write it out, read it, and see the themes that are in the data and extract those themes. On the other hand, at the other extreme, you have content analysis, where you again look at the data and extract either themes or expressions or actual words and count how many times they appear. But between those, there are any number of analyses. And one of my favorites is conversational analysis, where you actually analyze the interaction itself, the conversation between actors. Anyway, as I said, there are quite a number of analyses that you can perform with qualitative data, and I won't go into too much detail on that, but you have to, under data analysis, you have to actually outline exactly how you are going to analyze the data. The last element in methodology or methods is to do with presentation of the results. Again, you have ways of presenting your results for quantitative research and for qualitative research. For quantitative research, normally the results are presented in fairly standard formats such as tables, figures, and charts and graphs. Whereas in qualitative research, the presentation again is quite variable. you can cut segments of your interviewer's transcript to represent a major theme. So you might be saying, well, most of the people interviewed believed that whatever they believed, and you present an example. Participant 1 is an example of the typical response, and you put a segment of participant 1's response. Of course, you could analyze the themes and draw thematic maps or concept maps, which are maps of the relationship between the themes. And you could yet just analyze themes and discuss the themes themselves. So again, under presentation of results, you have to write how you present the results. The last aspect brings everything together really, and this is what you do at the end, and that is to do with recommendations or conclusions. And under recommendations or research outcome, you can put a different title to that, is you are just saying that after you analyze the data that you collect, you compare it with data that already exists. In other words, you compare it with the existing literature to see whether your data confirms what is already known or brings out something new. So you might say, well, this is what I found, this is what has been reported in literature, and it confirms it, or it doesn't confirm it, it adds to the knowledge that already exists in literature. That covers, I think, the full breadth of what we do in research